Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Modeling Monday, the m- model railroading modeling and chat show. We're going to get started in a second, but before we do, I just want to check in, say hello to everybody, and see who's joining us in the chat already. Um, so first we got Lee from Enfield Road Layout in the Loft. We have Opa Anthony Dodge, the model train outsider, checking in. Roy Container Man 68. Yes, Roy, I saw your comment in the chat. I agree. I like doing kind of the pre-show sort of, get things going, let people come in, start chatting kind of thing. And I didn't come up with it. I stole it from somebody else, but I really do like doing that. We have, I'm assuming Brian from Crossed Anchors Railroad is here. Daniel Banks is in the house. David Atkins, thank you, David, for stopping by, and thank you for entering the Blame Heath challenge. We have Digger, Evans Model Railway in the house. Dwight Curley is here. Brian Walters sneaking in as well, a little bit out of alphabetical order, but we're getting him in there. Joey Butzek. Joey, was that even close pronunciation of your last name? I actually don't have any idea how to say it whatsoever. We have John 2618, who I've been calling Mr. Blue Comet, is in the house. We have King Fox Junctions here. Crazy Joe 67, Ian from Lehigh River Subdivision. Let's see, Dwight Curley, I think, did I catch him already? Oh, that's who popped in. Cameron, Caboose 121 came in. Lauren Hurwitz is joining us as well. Michael McCarville's here. Greg, Midsummer End Scale. We might be seeing him in a second. Marty from M&M Shortlines. My Life Tracks is in the house. Nancy and the Spirit of Colorado Railroader End Scaler. Nancy, thank you as well for doing the Blame Heath Challenge. Really appreciate that. Nathan DeLay is here. Norm Miller is also in the house. And Norman Rose in the house. Two Norms in the chat. Pete Clark, welcome, sir. Mike, the Rail Artist. Randall Ellison joining us as well. Randall, I hope you're staying safe with all the weather we've been having out there. Shane's Trains, welcome. Let's see, St. Mary's Church Model Railway. Steve the Mute Childers, and I call him the Mute not because he is mute, but because you always have to remember to mute him when he comes on your streams. Let's see, we have Warwick Road Andy and Mike Wicked Insanity. Let's go back up and see. We got Det Steve is checking in as well. Let's see who else. I think that's everybody. If I've missed anybody, oh, Shane's Trains I see is here as well. But if I missed anybody, I apologize. We'll try and catch up to you at some point. So before I let people know what I've got working here, let's see a couple of the other people that are joining us tonight. And I don't know why, but the big D, I always want to call him Paul D instead of Dave P. So, just confusing. But, Paul, you out there? Maybe not. Steve Childers, do you have your mic and your sound working this evening?
I'm here.
Nope. Apparently my fault. Totally blame Heath. Totally blame Heath.
I am here.
I even thought about it ahead of time. I said, don't forget to put your earphone in so that you can hear the people talking.
You just thought I was muted, didn't you?
I thought maybe I had muted you already. So Dave P, are you here as well? See, so it wasn't just me. Dave, I can't actually hear Dave, so I don't know. But Greg, looks like you got a new little setup going over there.
Yeah, I have. Yep. I've got a building that I'm putting lights in, and I'm putting NeoPixels in.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it is, because then you can change the lighting modes of the building. So, and I put a few people around and all that sort of stuff. So that's what I'm doing today.
That's really awesome. Steve, what are you working on tonight?
I got my turntable installed, and now I'm working on the control panel for the cutoff switches for all the sidings.
Nice. And Dave P, I'm assuming, is working on that locomotive he's got on his bench. Maybe we'll be able to hear from him at some point. And just so people can see what I'm working on, and they already probably figured it out if you saw the thumbnail, but I've got the Golden Valley Canning HO scale kit. This is a part of the Walthers National Model Railroad Buildoff, and I thought I'd learn some skills on some HO scale stuff, and then go from there. And for those of you watching, again, I've got the Ringling Brothers Billboard Circus stuff going on in the background. So, yeah, see, you mute Steve, and the sound quality of the stream just gets better, like, immediately. See how that works? What's all the ruckus you're doing over there?
Not me.
I can't hear nothing.
That's not your dog barking?
That was my dog barking.
Mhm.
Exactly.
But I know what the problem is, Heath, and I can fix it. Let me turn my air conditioner off out here.
You don't have to. Just it just gives me an excuse to keep muting you. That's all.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hey, there he is. What are you working on tonight, Dave?
Continuation of what I was working on at least, the reduction plans for the barn build for Jack's contest.
Oh, nice. Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Since I'm still waiting on wood.
If people don't know, one of Jack's challenges that he gave was to scratch build something.
Yep.
So that sounds pretty awesome. You know what I just realized? Where did I put the cover? I'm gonna hit record on some of my other cameras as I open this again, just because then I can make a video out of it if it actually goes.
I hate to tell you, that's what I'm doing too.
Yeah, why not? And for people at home that have modeling projects, feel free to join in, model along with us. Let us know in the chat what's going on with you guys as well. Steve, do you see Shane's question?
Well, Shane, it hit the mid 80s here in Florida today, and this my train room here gets kind of hot, so I have to turn the air conditioner on.
I think the rest of us are dealing with a freeze, and then
No, it's going to be 31 here today. That's
31
Celsius.
Celsius. Yeah, that's pretty warm as well.
Yeah, but you got to remember this is summer for us.
Oh, right.
We're opposite to you.
Well, today it's -4 Fahrenheit.
Yep. It's actually warmish here. I was just watching the news, and they were saying it's just around freezing here, and by tomorrow morning it should be up around like 34 or something. Container Man wants to know, Steve Childers, about what area do you live in?
Tampa, Roy. Tampa Bay area.
There you go.
East side of the bay. Town called Riverview near Apollo Beach.
I gotta say, man, this HO scale kit is like twice the size of the N scale kits.
It's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is like how did people build HO scale kits? They're just massive.
Yeah, at least we
We
can
need
see
another
them.
workbench just to start this kit. But Tim says getting ready for the freeze. It hasn't been up to freezing for more than an hour or two since December. Oh, yeah, I know Nancy needs some more heat as well. But Shane says, "Oh, doom on you, Steve. Are you the guy that calls your relatives in Michigan to tell them how great the weather is in Florida?"
Every chance I get.
Steve did send me a picture of him walking on the beach the other day. So yes, Steve is exactly that person.
I'm that guy.
We're not
So-
allowed to.
What, go to the beach?
We're back in lockdown, so we're not allowed to go more than 5Ks from the house.
How far is a K?
1.6 K is 1 mile.
I can almost get to the beach.
No, not me. I'm too far away. We're actually only allowed out to do grocery shopping or chemist, and you are allowed out for 2 hours to do exercise, but again, only in 5K.
Containerman says it was minus 12 this morning in Texoma, Oklahoma.
Ooh.
Phew.
It's about the same
Cold.
temperature it was here.
St. Mary's Church is mentioning, I think, Wilmer's Not Bad show. I haven't watched that yet. I gotta check that out. Bigger Evans, I must confess, if I lived in a warm place, he would do the same. Steve, you do have compatriots.
You have allies.
Well, I sympathize with everybody that lives up north because I lived most of my life up north. So with the sub-zero temperatures, now that I'm retired, I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah. So you moved after you retired to somewhere warmer?
Yeah. Moved down. We were living in Tennessee at the time that I retired. I'm originally from the Chicago area.
Shane says he's planning on a hurricane, so. So it looks like the first thing I need to do is figure out all the pieces that need windows and stuff. And it looks like I've got all of those here in my hands. So I'm going to get rid of some of this other stuff that I don't need right now. Make some room for myself. Manny's checking in. Cat Nuts is asking, have you blamed Heath for any mishaps lately? I think we've had quite a few people blaming me.
Yep, it's his fault. I need to pull this out again and start.
You have to start over. You just started 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, no, I need to twist the wires so they don't go everywhere. And I've just put them through.
Gotcha. Anyone that wants to support the channel, you can go to blameheath.support. Let's see. Ooh. Dad Cooks, I just got done shoveling 11 inches of snow in southeast Washington State.
Ooh.
Wow.
I don't even know what that is like, to be honest.
Well, Joey's comment sort of makes me think of what you deal with down in Australia. I'd love to live where there's no snow or cold, but there's usually giant bugs and venomous things in those places.
No, there's not. Look, everybody says that, but you know what? I have rarely seen them, and the only place you see them is if you're in a zoo or something. To be honest, they're not as common as what you think they are.
So you guys don't have like drop bears and all that kind of stuff?
No, we have kangaroos and possums and emus and there's snakes in the outback, but around the cities you never see them. It's just too noisy and they don't come anywhere near us. Same with spiders. We don't.
So you're close enough to the city that you don't have to.
Well, I'm about 60 k's from the centre of Melbourne.
Okay. Speaking of Melbourne, she's wandering around. Maybe I'll wait till she sits down to bring her up on camera and embarrass her. She's like jumping into her chair. She's like, "Oh, don't catch me while I'm walking around."
I'm going to be walking around. It's fine.
What are
Hi.
you working on tonight, Z?
I got a couple of different things. Hi.
Morning, Z. Or
Good
after
morning.
evening. Sorry.
I went and got some plaster of Paris so I can make some rocks.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then I'm making some mountain setups for on one side of my setup there. I put my wall in and decided I wanted to do the back part. So what's everybody else working on?
I'm working on one of the kits from that Walthers National Model Railroad Buildoff.
Oh yeah.
And the first step seems to be putting in 600 windows, although I just realized what I should have done was back painted all of this stuff first so that I could light it. So I may actually go run and get the paint. I might actually do that first.
Does it have little? When you say back painting, what are you back painting?
So, like if this is the front side here,
Mm-hmm.
I would paint this side black so that when I put a light or something on the inside of the
Structure.
model to light it up, the light won't bleed through the plastic.
Oh.
It's just usually easier to back paint it before you put all the windows in.
Sure.
I never bank paint mine.
Really? How do you keep the light from?
I don't see it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've got the ones where I have the flashing lights, and you don't see it through anything else.
So is back painting just something for N scale, or do people that do HO scale also back paint things?
Yeah, good question. I've never back painted, but I hear what you're saying.
It depends on who's building. Some people do, some people don't.
I back paint, and it's more common on lighter colored plastics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Well, see,
Daniel
that's
says
what
he
I-
just adjusts the light intensity.
Yeah, well, see what I'm going to do is I'm using two separate sets of lights in this. So in the main part, hang on, where are we? If I can put this apart. In the main part, can you see? I've got some NeoPixels, and I'll use two NeoPixels, and then I'll build it up, and then I'll use an Arduino Mini to run the NeoPixels, and then you can change the lights, color of the lights, and then for the main foyer, I'll just use straight white lighting.
Dad's Cook says he back paints his Z scale stuff. Almar says depends on the material. We still have people talking about. David Atkins says he has rattlesnakes, bears, cougars, bobcats, deer, bighorn sheep, and huge golden eagles. So no problem.
Well, we have none of that. You might even it's rare to see a kangaroo until you get sort of 50 to 100 k's out. It's rare to see emus you just don't see anywhere. Possums, yes. I lived in further and in a suburb where it was fairly green, a lot of trees, and we used to have constant outages because we used to have fried
Awesome.
yeah, they used to run up and down the power poles and the power lines, and there would be nothing to have 30, 40, 50 running up and down the power lines. We also had our own pet. We called him Pete, and Pete the possum we used to feed. So, because he was really cute and he was really friendly, but you have to be in a very green suburb to see that. We see birds. We've got parrots here, which are multicolored, absolutely beautiful. You've got all sorts of other things, but that's it. You don't see them in the city. It's too, I guess, too noisy for them. So
yeah. See, Vinny's saying it can't hurt to back paint, and that was a little bit my thought on that matter. But
Doesn't hurt anything.
yeah. Well, while we're talking about back painting, let's see what Graham and Jason have to say about it.
What's up?
So, Graham, what are you working on again this evening?
This evening I'm building some of these modern trackside accessories.
From Scale Model Scenery
Yep.
or Model Railway Scenery.
Yeah. It's the same company.
Yeah, I like I ordered some of the stuff in N Scale off eBay that they sell, and I've actually liked some of the things they do. Where's Mr. Jason? Where are you hiding, Jason?
I'm here, there, somewhere.
There you are. What are you working on, sir?
Well, I am continuing from the other day and doing more coupler changes. With
You're doing coupler changes from what and to what?
so like this car, for example's got the plastic couplers that came with it. This is an Athearn, and I'm swapping them to Katie's. And for the tank cars, they're going to get these shelf couplers. And then the rest of the cars are just going to get standard scale head couplers.
Are the other ones metal or something?
Which ones?
The ones you're swapping to, you said the old ones were plastic, so I'm wondering, are the
Yeah.
new ones metal?
These are metal, and then the air hoses are magnetic. So when you run the air hose over like an uncoupling magnet, it'll actually cause the air hoses to separate, which allows it to uncouple. That way you don't have to get in there and use like some type of tool.
Yeah, Almar is saying, I would think back painting would change the lighting to dull it down. So the point of the back painting is that then you only see the light. Who's making all kinds of noise?
Oh, sorry, it's me. I'm sorry.
What? It's not Steve?
I know, right? So the reason I would be back painting is because then, let's see, if I move myself up here, I can make myself bigger. So if I back paint this, then when I light behind it, then only light comes through the windows. If you don't back paint it, sometimes the whole piece of plastic actually like lights up. And that's what I want to avoid, is the whole plastic lighting up. So Michael McCarville.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Michael.
Hey guys, everybody well?
Doing pretty good. What are you up to tonight?
I'm actually uploading photos, but I figured
Hey,
I'd
Michael.
join anyway.
Oh, there you go. Well, you need to move your camera then, so we can see your computer. You can show us the photos you're uploading.
I don't know. Are you sure you want to see?
I'm assuming you're not uploading them to your OnlyFans page.
Be careful what you ask for.
Exactly. Exactly. Real Artist says he always paints the outsides of the walls. Oh, interesting. Because I was thinking of not painting the outsides, but definitely painting the insides.
Okay.
Right now, I'm just trying to get off some of the, some of the little nubbins. I'm actually using what is this? This is like 3000 grit paper. It was just what was on top, so I just grabbed it. Yeah, see, Container Man's agreeing too to back paint it so the light doesn't
Lead through.
come through. While still in the sprues, handling is better that way. Oh, that's a good point. I could have back painted them all while they were on the sprues, and then that would have been a lot easier to do. See, there you go. Digger says you don't need to back paint a nuclear power station because they're supposed to glow.
What? Well, I guess I've also got I've got a couple of ceramic models, so they just don't bleed at all. And to light them is you've got to light the actual windows. I've got a church and a model shop, and yeah, they're hard to light. But yeah, all right, cool. I've learned something new.
Yeah, it's interesting what Real Artist was saying. Paint them on the sprues, because yeah, that would have made a lot more sense.
Well, this one's a bit hard to paint on the sprues because this is the way it comes.
Oh, yeah. Well, these were all on the sprue.
Yep.
I just didn't. I
No,
just
this
sort of
comes as-
opened the box on the as we were starting, and I didn't really think about it too
Rookie.
much.
Yeah, no, this one comes already assembled, but I bought it off eBay because at the moment, if I was to buy this, it'd be about 107 Australian dollars, which is about 130 US plus shipping, and I bought it for 35. So I can't figure that one out. But anyway, and it was already pre-assembled.
So Vinny's saying if you don't paint the outside, you'll need to dull coat. Are you saying because once you get the glue on it, you'll need to use the dull coat so that the paint sticks, or is there another reason?
If you're
Well-
not painting it, well, go ahead.
Sometimes you do the outside because it shines. You get this really shine, and of course, in real life, buildings don't shine unless they're brand new. So you sort of either dull coat it, or I often use pastel and brush the pastel over the roofs and the walls so that it dulls it off and it doesn't shine like a Christmas tree.
Oh yeah, I was definitely gonna paint the outside of the I'm not gonna leave it this color. I'll definitely paint it. I guess I wasn't clear if he was saying that I need to paint it now before I put it together, or just paint it period.
Right. Sorry, misunderstood.
I don't know either. Vinny says he's got stuff to do. Oh yeah, to get rid of the plastic. Look. Yep. I don't know what they're talking about here, but Digger, believe if I recall, it was loaded with Wales catfish. They get huge. And then Pete Clark is asking three-eyed fish. So I definitely missed a part of some conversation somewhere.
Don't feel bad. I miss everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm struggling to look too.
St. Mary's Church Railway has a question. What are the biggest Katy couplers? The bit that looks like a fist. I have Daypole trucks, but the couplers don't quite line up. They jump out.
The biggest Katy couplers? I know they make some for ON30.
Nothing
I
makes
don't-
stuff for G.
Man, I don't know.
You're even thinking if you're going up to another side.
Well, okay, so like ON30 is O-scale narrow gauge that runs on HO track.
Yeah.
So I do know they make couplers
Oh, I
for
see what
that
you're saying.
scale.
I guess the other thing is you wouldn't really put Katy couplers on. You wouldn't put Katy couplers on a British locomotive, right? Because they don't really have those same knuckle couplers. And I
Yeah,
think that's what
British-
Andy is. I think that's a little bit where Andy's going here, maybe.
See, I know. Well, and I mean, I could be wrong. I thought the British used, hooks and chain.
Yeah, I mean, I know like Hunt's couplers seems to be a pretty popular.
Yeah,
Coupler.
most popular over here. Like,
Yeah, so I don't know. Andy is saying that NEM pockets are a different height to NMRA. So I think that's a UK thing.
Well, it would have to be.
So
Yeah,
Digger
that makes-
says he always paints them before assembly because it's common sense. Yeah, if it was common sense, then I definitely wouldn't know to do it because I don't know anything about paints. So if you've learned anything from tonight, it's before you cut the things off the sprue, back paint them.
Just make sure the joints that you glue together that you scrape the paint off.
Paint off, yeah.
Yeah, don't be like me and then paint it while it's still on the sprue and then try to glue it together because it don't work.
Is that what happened to you? I was just about to comment that I'm not sure you're the person I should be taking gluing advice from.
That is exactly what happened with the propane tanks.
Gotcha.
That's why they would not hold.
Ah, okay. My Life Tracks is saying Katie makes a U.S. coupler that fits into British rolling stock.
Katie's got so many different types out there. You just got to get on their website and look.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the new ones in the UK use magnetic, and you can turn them around either way.
That's the new
But they
Hunts
can be
one.
very quite long.
What do you mean by use magnetic and you can turn them around?
Well, there's I forget what. Sorry, I've got a mental block. I can't think. But they're just a straight little bar which are magnetic, and they join together. They've just been released by DCC Concepts, I think, from memory. Some of them used to be only one way, but the new ones doesn't matter which way you join them.
It's
And
the new Hunts ones from West Hill Wagon Works.
there you go.
Jenny Kirk
Thank you.
did a demo on those.
Yeah. A few people have used them. Lakeside has used them. Lakeside in England, he's used them too.
Hey, Heath,
People are
I'm going to
finally
step away.
learning.
Hey, Heath, I'm going to step away real quick. I'll be right back.
Container Man's finally figuring it out. Human does not have common sense. See? You know?
Can I
common
ask
sense
Heath?
is not as common as you think. See, I think.
Can I ask Keith, when you get something, do you read the manual?
What manual?
Yeah. Thank you. I agree.
Well, so in my defense, I kind of just messed that up a little bit. In my defense, if you look at the Walthers Cornerstone manual, like this is it. Like the part up here, the language up here tells you about the kit. It doesn't say like, recommendations, paint things first on the sprue. Like it doesn't.
Yep.
It doesn't really, like, when you're a new modeler and you get a Walthers Cornerstone kit, you have to know a lot about modeling before you even get to the part of putting the kit together. Because, like, I open this and I say, oh, like, I just cut these out and I put the windows in. But it makes so much sense, and as people are saying it, I'm kind of like, oh, duh, like, I should have known, to paint them. Like, that makes sense. I've seen that before. I've heard that before. But, like, here, like, you look at this page, and it's just like, there's no, I'm, like, saying, look at this page as if anybody can see anything.
Yeah, I
that
can
small.
see it, yeah.
But, it's like this is the instructions they give you. They don't talk to you at all about, like, which part to even glue together first.
Yep. Well, I agree. I just go for it. And then
Yeah,
go, oh, bugger.
But the reality is, if I did the things like painted this first, it definitely gives a more, I don't want to say professional, but, it definitely...
yeah, it's probably better. Yeah.
Yeah, and Mike's right. I mean, it does come with time. Mike Rail Artist is saying it comes with time, which is very true.
Yeah.
Michael McCarville, if you follow the instructions, you can never call it kit bashed. There you go. There you go. Definitely comes with experience. And so part of why I'm doing Modeling Monday is because I wanted to model more, and I don't have any idea what I'm doing. So I kind of figured by putting it out there that people would probably help provide a little bit of guidance along the way.
Hey, Heath, Cheryl wanted to share something with you.
I wanted a shirt, but Steve wouldn't get me one, so I had to make my own. When things go bad. Y'all have fun.
You're welcome anytime. Yeah, see, my dad even says, as a kid, I never used to read the manuals, and I would always just put things together, and it always kind of work.
So do I.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, being an IT guy, manual was the last thing you resort to if all else fails.
Well, funny you say that, Jason. You're
Except
back
for
on the
oil
stream, by
pumps.
the way.
Yeah, I'm back.
Funny you say that because I used to go into my dad's office and put together the computers where you had to, take the phone off the hook and stick it into the 9.6K baud modem or whatever it was at the time.
Yep. Yes.
So,
Well, back in that day, I can tell you a real funny story. I used to be a contractor inside HP here in Australia, and if you can imagine a whole floor of people which is an open desk scenario, and I was on the help desk doing printers. We had different people. I was in charge of 3 guys, and next to me was the guy who did computers, and he was in charge of 3 guys. And he worked for HP. I worked for an external company. Anyway, he's on the phone and he starts laughing. Now, you've got to remember the era is early computers. And he gets off the phone and says, and he ended up having the whole floor in fits of laughter. The lady said, "I've got a problem with my computer. My coffee cup doesn't work." And he went, "Coffee cup?" And explained. And she said, "Well, you push the button and the drawer pops out." And she was using the
Coffee cup holder.
CD-ROM as a coffee cup holder. Because back in those days, CD-ROMs were 1 or 2 speed. Nobody had seen them, and she just thought it was a coffee cup holder.
now knowing
So you can imagine, say, 100 plus tech guys all together, absolutely in fits of laughter.
my dad once told me a story, and I have no idea if it was made up, and maybe he didn't even actually tell me the story, but this is how I remember it. If people remember 5 1/4 inch discs,
Yes.
the floppy disk.
Yep.
Apparently they sold software to somebody, and the first directions say to take the disk out of the sleeve, and most of us know that means out of the paper sleeve, and then stick the disk in the drive.
Yep.
Well, apparently what these people had done was taken it out of the black plastic sleeve, and then this was when it was common to have 5 1/4 inch dual drives.
Yes.
So they stuck it between the 2 drives. So, no idea if that's a true story or not, but that's how I remember the story.
Probably is. Oh, look, we had all sorts of things. This company I worked for, we contracted out printers to HP and other stuff, but we also used to do power stations, and we used to get 11-inch IBM floppy disks to
Yep.
fix.
Yep.
Disk packs we used to have to wash. Back in those days. Wow.
Yeah,
Things
I can
have
only
changed.
imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. My dad's saying absolutely true, and it was AT&T to boot. So there you go.
Yep.
They
Believe
sold their
it.
software to AT&T, and they, Manny wants to know, Jason, if you're going to do a video on swapping over the couplers.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Digger says, "Did you have a 5 1/4 inch floppy, Heath?" Of course. I mean, I'm old enough to have a computer that had a 5 1/4 inch floppy.
Yep. 2 5 or you would have 2 5 1/4s and a 3.5.
Yeah, it was a 3.5 when those came out. Those were pretty rare for a while, I feel like,
They
and
were.
then they went away really quickly. I feel once CD-ROMs came out.
Yep. There was
a
no
big
point.
change,
Yeah.
so. Hey, Jason, you're on video. If you want to show us a little more detail what you're actually doing.
Sure. I'm actually just did one. Ooh, there we go. And so what I've done is I went and grabbed one of the magnets because I want to show you how the uncoupling feature works. But I've got to get this other coupler in its spot first, and then I'll be able to show you. But just basically taking one coupler out, popping another one in. As long as you know how to turn a screwdriver, you'll be all right. It's always good to have magnetic screwdrivers too.
So I went and grabbed some paint. Did Jason say anything that made any sense to anybody?
No,
No.
never does. Okay. All right, I'm gonna see if I can do this without making my cradle fall.
So Vinny's heading out.
Hi, Vinny.
Hi, Vinny.
Yeah, Vinny.
We're gonna see Vinny
Good
again
night.
tomorrow night for the scratch building workshop that he's doing at 8 o'clock, right after On Track Tuesday.
Bye.
See you, Vinny. Good night.
All right, I've got it working. So, say the train or the locomotive's pushing cars in or pulling cars or whatever. You can see that it going over the magnet, nothing happens as long as the couplers have tension until you drag on the magnet. But as soon as you get slack, see how the couplers separate? And then you can push the car, and then once you're off the magnet, you can connect to it again and go straight over. So push the car in, give it a little slack, it'll automatically come apart, and then you can push the car and then pull back up. So that's the purpose of why I'm going to Katie's.
So did everyone in the chat understand that 100%?
Yeah, I did.
We'll,
Yeah.
we'll just wait a second and see how
Yeah.
the chat responds to that, Jason.
The only question- the only
The other
question
thing is
I
what
have-
you're supposed to do is you're supposed to cut the ties on the track out and set the magnet down in the ties. But you can see, I don't know if you can
in
tell
catches.
how the coupler changes as I'm going over it. So it pulls like the end of the air hose towards the rail, which is what opens that coupler.
Ah,
So
okay.
Container Man says he understands. Pete Clark is saying just wiggle it and it comes off, which is usually the method I use when I uncouple things. Is I just wiggle things.
Yeah, it's not coming off. But as soon as, like I said, as soon as I get over the magnet and give it enough slack, I mean, it automatically separates, and then I can push the car and then pull up. And then if I want to recouple it, push it back far enough, couple, and then I've got it.
So Rick Bailey is saying you only cut the ties. Where is it? Now I lost it.
Yeah, you don't take the whole tie off. You only cut
Only
between
cut the
rail.
ties if you're using the code 100 on a code 83 track.
Okay, so do you just glue the magnet in place on the track? Because right now I just got the magnet sitting on the track, just for demonstration purposes.
I think you're on your own. I think
I know
that's
that's
what
what
he's
Sparky
saying.
did, because Sparky just did a video on
Yeah,
it.
he did a video, so he cut the ties.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's what I saw. Yeah, and he did it for both 100 and 83.
David Atkins says, "No, you're not, Jason. Read the instructions." Wimbletrain saying, "Show it again." Steve 87, no, could actually explain the magnetic field capacity that causes the metal displacement and changes in magnetic field.
Is that the flux capacitor?
Ian Lehigh River Subdivision says Athearn couplers definitely wiggle and come apart. They're good at doing that even when you're running a train.
That's back when they called gigawatts gigawatts.
So Mr. Rick is saying to glue it in place, and Rick also wants to know why you're using the old, outdated Track Sunday logo.
Because I haven't uploaded the new one yet.
Steve87 said Sparky cut him out.
All right, so someone said they wanted me to demo this one more time. I'm gonna slap my magnet.
Wimble Train asked you.
Okay.
So the magnets aren't electromagnets. It's just a regular magnet. So like, what if you want to run the train over it, but you don't want the train to uncouple? How do you run the train over it and have it not uncouple?
As long as you're running over it fast enough, and there's tension on the couplers, it will not separate.
Ah, okay.
So watch. The only thing I'm touching, and I'm gonna angle this camera down so that way y'all can see. All right. So I'm only touching the black tank car. So I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna connect, and I'm pulling it forward, and nothing happens. I'm gonna push it back. I'm stopping on the magnet. I'm gonna give it just enough slack so it breaks apart. Push it back in place, past the magnet, and I can pull up and leave the car set. And then I can just go back and connect and pull it up again. It's that simple.
It's simple.
Easy peasy.
It's
Lemon
too funny.
squeezy.
They work great except on curves. If you're on a curve, they're not so good.
Yeah, it's no good on a curve, but Rapido makes a magnet that you can, and it's round, you can take a hole saw and cut underneath, and the magnet's supposed to be flush with the bench work, and it's stronger, and you can put your row bed on top of it. So if you're going to do it on a curve, that's probably your best bet. But
I'm guessing.
Katie does recommend doing it on straights.
But Rick, who's got a jig for everything, has just posted up the link for there's apparently a jig to glue in the uncoupler thing.
I actually saw that at that hobby shop that I went to and rated all their scale head stuff.
Yeah, see, this is what I thought too. I'm used to the O-scale ones where they were an electromagnet.
Now, Katie does have an electromagnet that you can install. They do have the electromagnetic version.
I'm sure you could probably make one that'd be strong enough to do it.
Yeah.
Randall says just got back from feeding the dogs, and he's got about 7 inches of snow.
We got 5.5.
And Digger says your dogs don't live in the house, Randall. Some people don't.
Rest assured, I didn't get any.
You didn't get any what, Steve?
Snow.
No snow.
Steve,
That's because you down in Florida.
don't make me mute you.
Ours has pretty much disappeared now.
Hey, Graham, I don't think I asked you what you were working on today. I feel like I may have.
You did.
I did ask you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then never mind. Make everyone big. So one trick I'm doing with the painting is I'm painting towards the opening instead of away from the opening, so that as I brush over it, I'm not actually painting the edge, if that makes any sense. That's something I sort of forgot about, but it's actually pretty helpful. People know what I'm talking about? Or am I just being even more confusing?
Makes sense.
There's a rain dance. Is there a no snow dance?
I
Why
wish.
would you want a no snow dance? Don't people like snow?
No. I don't
No.
anyway.
I don't know what that's like.
The top of these cabinets are so hard to cut out.
So what's hard to do?
The tops of these cabinets. This one here, you've got to cut right into that little triangle in this corner here.
You're cutting the paper of it out. Is that what that is?
Yeah. I don't know if you can see that.
So are what I've got from them were like laser cut wood things? Is this?
This is a cardboard kit. It's a laser cut one, but it's a laser kit cardboard.
Ah, gotcha.
And then you wrap it in these. I'll show you this on my finger. You might want to see it.
So the other thing that would make back painting these easier would be an airbrush. But once again, being in an apartment, paintbrush is generally better than an airbrush. For various reasons. Company, Tim from CP368 Production, the company also makes a magnetic uncoupler that's handheld. You just stick it between the cars and a pair of magnets uncouple the cars. Is that the Rix, R-I-X stick, I believe? Is who makes that? Randall says, no digger. They've been outdoor dogs all their lives, but they have hay in their houses. Yeah, it's pretty common, I feel like, the dog houses with the hay in the bottom.
My dog would hate it outside for that long period of time. But he is a pansy.
I mean, so here is my 2 cents on the handheld magnet thing. If you're going to buy one of those handheld magnets to uncouple, why not just use a skewer? You know, like a bamboo skewer, which is what I use.
Because then you don't have to touch the cars. And maybe he doesn't want to have to touch the cars.
I wonder how big that magnet is. Because the thing, in order to get it, you know, to separate, you got to have one side of the magnet's the North Pole, the other side's at South Pole. I mean, that's kind of like on mine.
I don't know. That's a good question. Whether you have to.
I'm just curious how it would work.
David says, yeah, it's the Rix Raccoon coupler. They don't work too well.
All right, there you go.
So, Digger saying, yeah, an airbrush will work just as well in an apartment, Heath, honestly. Yeah, I'm afraid of the smell. I'm afraid of getting it everywhere. And Crazy Joe says she just uses a screwdriver, which I feel like a lot of people just use small screwdrivers.
I've never thought about that.
Yeah, I'm not doing a great job back painting these things without getting a little bit of paint on the outside. So I guess what I'm wondering a little bit is, should I just paint the inside and the outside black then? See, I'm getting a little... Or should I prime the outside in some different color?
I never did. That's a Walthers kit, right?
The Walthers kit, yeah. I mean, I figure when I go, after it's together, when I go to paint the outside, you know, that it'll just look like something. We all know I'm going to win this Walthers contest, right? I mean, that's the whole... Catnut says he uses his hand tool to uncouple, but Catnuts, aren't you your O scale, right? The problem with using your hands is with HO scale and stuff, getting in there.
So I'm trying to think, is it 3-rail or 2-rail that's got the little latch at the coupler that disengages it? I can't remember.
Both of them I thought had it. No? I know 3-rail. 3-rail's got the little like thumbtack on the bottom. And you can use a electromagnet to pull the thumbtack down, and that will uncouple it.
Okay, so it's 2-rail that has it then. Because this one, it's like on the side. It's like pulling a little small
Catnut
pin.
says 3-rail. Oh, maybe he's saying he does 3-rail. I don't know if he's answering your question 3-rail or if he's I don't know. I lost track of the conversation.
Blame Heath.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say, if you are going to do a whole bunch of coupler swaps with KD couplers, buy the bolt packs.
Yep,
It is so much cheaper in the long run.
that's all I buy.
Even if you're not going to do the bulk swap, it's like just buy the bulk pack anyway, because eventually you're probably going to
You use them one day.
yeah.
They ain't
Well-
gonna go to waste.
Yeah, I
I
know
would've-
Brian at Cross Anchors hates the thumbtack couplers. He curses them.
Okay, so yeah.
Remember that.
Yeah, because I mean, when you look at, I don't know if y'all can see the price or not. There you go. $4.60 to buy 2 pair.
Well, why did you buy the 2 pairs like that? Is that just what they had?
Because he didn't have any bulk ones
Yeah.
in stock. I mean, this one here was a 20 pair of number 5s for $32. And when you think, 2 pair being right at $5 and you can get 20 pair for 30, it just makes sense just to buy in bulk.
Well, that kind of comes back to you got to remember to plan ahead, right? I mean, if you
Yeah, it's an investment.
Do they make those the scale heads in whisker colors?
Yes,
You're right. I bought
Hold on.
some
I don't
some
I don't know if you can
uh,
tell.
HO DCC decoders, and I bought 10 of them from the factory. It was so much cheaper. I think I got them for about $17 instead of $45-50, which is what they
Yeah.
sell out here.
the only downside with that, and he's already left, so I'm going to tell his story and hopefully not completely screw it up. But Vinny got some decoders and didn't get to installing them until about a year later, meaning that the warranty was up, but he
Yeah.
hadn't installed them. So then when he went to install them and they didn't work, the company didn't want to warranty the decoders, even though he hadn't installed them yet. But that's my only concern, kind of with something like a bulk decoder buy.
Yeah,
You just
yeah,
gotta
look,
at least test them all.
well, yes, you're right, but I've only just bought them, and they're not for me. They're for my mate, Dave, and we've put in almost all of them. I think I've got about 2 left, and I sold a couple as well.
Yep.
They're really quite good. I think they're the factory that make. No, I can't remember. I bought them straight out of the factory, and they're the same as another brand, but they're ANEs, and they've got protection in it. So if you short out, the lights flash. The functionality of them is really good for HO. But they haven't been, because of everything going on. There's been no end scale, so I haven't been able to buy any of those yet.
Randall's saying the 158 couplers come in a 25 and a 50 pack.
Yes, they do.
Is that? I guess that's one of the most common versions?
One of them. Practically any of them that come with a medium center set shank comes in the bolt packs. There are some bolt packs for long center set shanks as well. All right, so this is the other thing I was going to show y'all. I'm going to slide this around so that way y'all can see it a little better. Get off of there. This is the coupler height gauge.
Oh,
And basically, you just use it to make sure that your couplers are set at the right height. And I don't know if y'all can see that very well or not. It's a little blurry.
Yeah, it's a little blurry, but how do you?
But
What I
you
don't
can-
know is
You
how
can
do you
see
adjust
it's
a
in the right
coupler?
height. Do what?
If it's out of height, how do you adjust it?
So you can do one of two things. Typically, most of mine are lower. So I use either these, which are 0.15 inches thick, or you can go with the 209s, which is 0.01.
So usually they'll be lower because I was gonna say if
Yeah.
they're higher, you can't really shim it. If it's lower, that works.
Right. Now I do have one card that is higher. And so what Katie does sell is couplers that are lower set and upper set. And so the way I'm going to explain it is show you on this here. So if you're looking at this image here at the top, you can see how the shank is centered with the coupler. A lower set, the shank would actually be at the very top of the coupler,
Yeah, that
therefore
makes
making
sense.
the coupler actually lower.
Yep.
And then, of course, they have the opposite effect too. And if you don't want to use washers, you can buy the upper set. But typically, those you can't get in a bolt pack, and that is perfectly heighted. So,
Anyone here that does N scale, do you know what the bulk packs come in? I feel like the only bulk packs come in 10s. I don't think you can get a 25 or a 50 in N
yeah,
scale.
I think they're 10s. I've bought some and they're
Yeah.
10s, I think, yes.
Yeah, I feel like they're all 10s. We're talking about vacuum trucks. Cat Nuts is heading out. See you later, Cat Nuts.
see that bit at the back of the gauge that's to set your magnets at the right height. Oh, nice. Okay. So you're talking about this portion here.
Bring it on camera a little bit closer. Can't.
No, I was going to grab my magnet too.
Oh, there you go.
So, Jason, what are you using to use your two cameras?
So, this camera here is actually on my laptop, and then this one here is my Microsoft LifeCam.
Right.
And I'm using Streamlabs OBS
Right, okay. To run the
have-
two cameras.
to have both cameras up simultaneously.
Okay.
And then inside Streamlabs, I can actually set that as a virtual webcam, which is what's being linked to StreamYard.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Because
Tannerman's saying you can shim either way. Oh,
Okay.
David is saying no on top. Hello,
On
Southwest Modeler. Welcome.
I just did an install and I'm still working on. I've got sound problems of a little vision mixer, which has HDMI inputs, and we put two or three cameras in and a computer in to go out live.
So I'm assuming David's saying this, like this.
Why don't you come closer to the camera? Come to the other end of the track. There you go.
I'm so confused.
I think what David would say is read the instructions.
I don't do that.
What's that?
What's instructions?
David says the round pin. Put the gauge on top of the magnet.
Okay, so he's talking about this pin right there. Okay, so I've got that on top of the magnet.
So now is the height correct?
I don't see any difference. So I don't know. I don't know.
He says put it in shot. No, you still don't have it. Oh wait,
Yeah.
and then he says yeah. Then he said yeah.
Well, see, now I don't know when he said yeah.
Go back to the way you had it when it was upside down.
Well, I didn't have it like that. I mean, that don't make sense. So I'm assuming he's talking like that.
He says if that
I would
pin
say
is
yeah.
level, it's right.
Okay, that makes sense.
If the height was too high, the pin would push up.
All right, so let me get the magnet closer. I see it. All right, so you can see that the pin is setting down inside the gauge. As soon as I push it on the gauge, it is completely flush with the top. So that has got to be what he's talking about. I'm going to slide it back off the magnet and you can watch it drop right now. Did y'all see that?
I think you have a light bulb moment there.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that doesn't read instructions on here and know what's going on.
I never read instructions. I'm too dumb not to. But if you try to follow Walthers' instructions, sometimes they will lead you wrong.
Well, and that's what I was just about to say, too. It's like, I was following the Walthers instructions. In a sense, they said just glue the windows in.
Yeah.
Oh, why is that powering off?
Oh dear.
Oh, got too hot.
So, Train Freak Jr. picked out a new box car for the layout.
So hold on, Jason. David Atkins says, now you've got it. And Rick says, now glue it.
And I haven't even opened this yet. But, let me see if I can open it real quick.
I have a new gentleman to our, well, he's not a new model railroader, but he's new-ish to our community. Hey, Edward, how you doing?
Oh, awesome. Welcome.
Fairly well. Is my camera working properly?
It is. We can all see you.
And you hear me?
We can hear you.
All right. Seems that,
Although we can also hear YouTube in the background. It sounds like you've got YouTube open with audio background.
Was that Steve again?
No, I think that was Edward.
yeah, it's a. Yeah, for some reason it doesn't have me going through my headphones.
Welcome.
Yeah, I have that problem with StreamYard too. Sometimes it just doesn't want to cooperate and use the correct audio device.
Yeah, I got it now through my headphones and all that, so I should no longer have audio feedback.
Awesome. So, who are you? What brought you here?
Well, you were. I remember seeing you at one of the YouTube live streams through New Tracks meetup, and that's how I found you, and I guess the whole community. And basically, wanted to figure out what was going on. Say again.
What kind of modeler are you? What do you model?
Well, technically, I got 3 layouts. but the one I'm concentrating on right now is sort of like mid 1800s.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, which is one of those things of. It seems that all my modeling is like it's hard to do, but then again, since it's hard to do, I don't wind up spending a lot of money on it either.
Yeah. There you go. Well, welcome aboard. We're just kind of all hanging out
Yeah,
on
welcome.
here doing different modeling projects, and Jason was about to show us a new train car. Who's playing music?
Not it.
Who's about to get me in trouble?
Those goes.
Steve, I think Steve just muted himself. No, he's saying it's not him.
No, Steve muted himself when you started hearing the echo.
No, I'm muted. Except when I'm talking, I've been muted the whole evening.
Well, Jason, while we're figuring out what's going on there, why don't you show us the new train car you got?
Okay, well, I took the wheels off because I just put the couplers on it. But, oof. Let me see if I can get. I'm gonna move the cradle out of the way. Hold on. There we go. So this is the one Aaron liked. I told him to go and find a car, and he said the only reason why he liked it is because his two favorite colors are black and red.
Oh, there you go.
And the logo in the middle of the Northern Pacific Railway, it's black and red. So
is that car red or is that car orange? It almost looks like a burnt orange.
So the car itself is brown, and it could be my lighting. There, does that look a little better?
Yeah, that looks a little more brown.
But the logo is red and black. And I don't have anything on the layout that's Northern Pacific, so I was like, good choice. So
I think the real question is he going to be a Northern Pacific guy because you're a Southern Pacific guy? Is that how that's going to play out?
that requires him going and buying locomotives because I'm not going to.
Well, if you keep putting him to work in your videos, I hope you're paying him for his.
Well, we could start a GoFundMe for him just to get him a Northern Pacific loco.
Well, the ironic thing is I ended up buying this boxcar. His money, he just spends it on video games. I'm trying to get him out of that habit, but I hear it's a lot easier said than done.
Well, maybe you have to start with like trains or some other train simulation game out there.
He don't even want to do that. I've got Train Sim World on my gaming computer. He won't even touch it.
That's funny. But he likes running your trains. He'd spent a lot of time running.
No, he likes being on camera.
Oh.
That's what he likes. He likes being the center of attention.
So they're still talking about your magnet there. They said you only cut ties if you're using code 100 magnets on code 83 tracks. I didn't know they had different code magnets. I guess they're different thicknesses.
Yeah. So this is a code 83 magnet.
And what track do you have?
This is 83 track here. So I put 83 on all of my industry tracks and some of the sidings. But like the industrial yard complex and the interchange yard at the industrial complex, those are all code 100. So I've got some code 100 magnets for those.
So you did find basically the right magnet for the right application.
Yes.
Anthony says you could go mean, ground him from video games, and when he asks why, you could say blame Heath. Freak Jr. steal the spotlight from Data. I tell you, when he is on camera, he does kind of steal the spotlight from you.
Kind of.
That is true. He does, you know.
I would lean a little more from kind of to he does.
Well, he's definitely more interesting than you are on camera.
Well, I'm sure. He might be the only reason why I've got over 500 subs.
Probably. Or it could be. Well, anyway, I'm not gonna.
I've got a long way to go for that one.
Yeah. So who's got something they can show us that they're working on?
I've completed one.
Oh, hold on, Graham. Let me make you bigger. You hold it closer to the camera. It's so. Is that HO scale or N scale?
HO.
And what is it? It's a little trackside what?
Trackside cabinet.
So like an electrical cabinet for
Yeah.
trackside?
For like a crossing signal or something.
Yeah, relays and stuff like that. Relay cabinets are cool.
There you go.
And that's all just paper or cardstock.
Paper and cardboard, yeah.
That's cool. I was just looking at one of those the other day as I went down the track.
Looking at one in paper and cardboard or looking at one in full scale?
In full scale, I was looking as I was driving down. I was taking my horse down. I drive down a highway, and it's all along our where they do the cars. They take cars offline, and it's big, like big rail all along there. And they've been replacing the rails actually. So they had big I don't know what hopper cars or whatever that with ballast in them, and they had a crane spreading the ballast off, and they just pull the little rail out and put a new one in. They were doing that, and then they have all the car container stock. I don't know what you call them, but you know the big.
Where's the video you did of all that?
Yeah, I'm driving with my horse in the back and my huge trailer. Yeah, I have one that shows some of it because I see trains all the time there. It's really cool. But Vinny has it on his layout, so he's got it modeled. But yeah, I was sitting in a light
that
waiting.
yard modeled basically.
Yeah, he does the whole line from Phoenix to Williams out there where they go up to the Grand Canyon or something. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, he has the whole thing. And it's just a straight road with just rail. I see trains all the time. So it's pretty cool.
So is that foam you're carving now or is that
Yeah.
plaster?
It's foam.
And then you'll plaster Paris over it?
Yeah, I put that spackle, that stuff on. I want to put some of my rocks on top of it that I'm making in the plaster of Paris.
Randall says, don't feel bad, Jason. Cheyenne's probably the reason I'm at 115 subs and counting. Cheyenne's your cousin or niece or something? I can't remember exactly.
Niece.
Niece. There you go.
She does steal a show from Randall.
She's darling.
Southwest Modeler is saying, Gray, where do you buy your N-scale products? Not sure who he's talking to. Probably somebody in chat is my guess.
Yeah, I myself, I'm in HO scale, so that's definitely not towards me.
So Ian from Lehigh River Subdivision says you don't need to plaster a Parasit. He just painted his foam ones. Dave from BNSF N scale is saying BNSF P-Vine sub. I'm guessing. I think he might be answering what the.
Yeah, that's
any modeled.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, he said, "Oops, Greg."
Oh, where do I buy my stuff from? Mainly from a company called Branch Line. which is here in Victoria, and they have a lot of. They're one of the main modelers here in Victoria that have a lot of N scale. Very few of them have N scale. The one where Shannon works, which is Train World, they have some N scale as well, but it depends what you're modeling, whether you're modeling English or American. If you're modeling English like I do, because that's what we only had when I was a kid, there was no such thing as American trains here.
Yeah.
Then branch line, and then I buy from either eBay or mainly Rails of Sheffield or Hattons in England.
I don't know if you know Southwest Modeler Greg.
No, I don't.
Believe he is in Southwest Australia.
Southwest, okay.
We did that, Anthony, and the answers we all came up with was blame Heath.
What's Anthony's question?
He's saying about doing Hollywood Squares.
Southwest Modeler's in Victoria, Greg.
Oh, you're in Victoria. Well, so am I.
Drew Steele did a great video on carved foam stone portal painted as well. He was going to do plaster on the foam until he saw Drew's video. And Ian, just so you know, Z does N scale as well.
So
Digger, thanks for coming.
Whereabouts are you in Victoria, Southwest Modeler?
And Anthony Dodge, thank you so much for becoming a patron on Patreon. I really appreciate that.
You wanting to do 80s Vic Rail? There's a place in Rosanna, Greensboro, around there. I forget what they're called. That does Australian modelling. Oh, you're in Warrnambool. Okay. Long way. Long way from where I am. I'm in Pakenham, but yep.
Did Steve Childers leave the building?
He gone?
No, he's behind the.
Oh, I see his arm waving.
The lights are on, but no one's at home.
Dang, I was going to try to make his day and let him see what I've got on the phone cradle now. Since it's his favorite railroad.
Well, at least I think I got all these pretty much back painted, sort of.
Eureka.
So, Jason, I'm not even going to
Yeah,
start
only
step
4
one
hours,
tonight,
yep.
let alone finish step one tonight.
Okay. Show it, Jason.
Hold on. There you go.
Oh,
Hold
yes.
on, I'll make you bigger,
Warrnambool
Jason,
was
one
the home
second.
of Fletcher Jones.
43184.
Yep, 23184. It's a Rapido. No, I'm sorry, Riva Rossi.
I don't have that.
It's a Riva Rossi.
Oh, nice.
Dave, you've been quiet over there. How's your project going on?
Going really good.
That is nice.
Oh, wow. That's great.
You doing that all by hand?
Well, I've been doing some experiments just like this.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
This is a little bit bigger than what I'm going to actually be doing. This is just some scrap pieces well, I shouldn't say scrap, but it's some balsa stuff that I have.
If only. Oh.
I want to see how well the glue would stay together. Whether I'd have to pin them. So glue seems to be holding pretty good.
You want to send them over here? I'll let the dog go at them, and you can see how well they hold up.
Oh, I've got 2 dogs I can give them to. Don't have to go all the way over there.
Yeah, well, you can send them over here. I'll let me cat at them.
Now I got a puppy. That'll take really good care of it.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
I have a very smart cat. He's a kleptomaniac.
Ah,
If
Dave
you're looking for
BNSF.
anything here in this house, you have to look under a bed because the cat's taken it.
So Dave from BNSFN Scale says in N we have fewer options for adjusting coupler height.
Yeah.
So, so Anthony, our English teacher, is complaining about all of his typos. My dad just sent me an email that I've got a typo in something on one of my intro slides. I think I'm not really wasn't really clear where the typo was, but I'll have to go look for that at some point.
Yeah, but I have to say, if it wasn't for spell check, I'd be sorely shot.
I really rely on that as well. Absolutely. Hey Greg, how's your lighting coming?
Oh, it's getting there slowly. I'm on the last level, so once that is done, I can fix it off at the bottom and then start on the Arduino. I never glue them in until it's all working. Because
Looks like an
sometimes,
electric chair.
well, sometimes because when you wire the Neo pixels, they've got to go a certain way. And if you lose concentration, you can wire them the wrong way and then they don't work. So, and always leave a bit of cable so as you can pull the thing apart and fix it up. And
So
you
I
have to, of
agree with
course,
Z. That kind of looks like an electric chair. Is that what's going on there, or are we just?
No. It's just I've got a front here so that I can put the Neo pixels at the side because you can see straight in, and put the wiring and hide the wiring, and I light it up sideways so that and of course the white will shine through, and then you use different colors. So I've got one building which is the same. This is a atomics building, and I've got another one where I've got a flashing disco inside it. So, and all the lights change different colors randomly. It's in one of my videos. It looks really cool.
Sounds
Nice.
really
I'll
cool.
have to check that out.
I can't remember which one, but there's one that's got them in there. And I've also got a church next door, a typical English church, and it's having a bit of a disco too because the light's flashing there for the moment.
Thanks, Anthony.
But I do like the Neo pixels because you can, rather than LEDs, the Neo pixels you can make them different colors, and running them off the Arduino gives you a better control over them.
Have you tried running them off of any of those DCC decoders that are out there?
Yeah, look, I hear what you're saying, and probably we could, but I like to have them separate because it's like everything else. I guess my IT guy comes out backup system, so never rely on one point of failure. So if you're running it from your DCC and your DCC goes down,
Well,
everything
yeah.
goes down.
Hmm.
So
I will kind of mention though, I feel like anything on a layout probably isn't life critical.
no,
That,
look,
backup
I realise
systems.
that. No, but it's
I'm just giving you a hard time. Great. I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
I know you are, but it's the principle. I guess I've I've built $250,000 plus servers, and because you don't have one point of failure, and I've had them sitting on directly on the main internet link, and you always have 2 points where it comes in. So I guess my IT guy comes out in this, and also I heard somebody who said was it Scott? He went to a show and the DCC went down and everything goes down. So, I guess that also had an impression on me. But I've got separate systems, so things don't fail.
I am looking forward to the NMRA standard, the LCC that they're coming out with. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's basically DCC will become for your drive systems only, and all of
Yep.
your accessories and that kind of stuff will all become, on this
Separate
LCC
system.
bus. Yeah, separate system.
Yep.
And I like that. And I agree too. I mean, I put a separate breaker. I try and separately breaker all of my accessories so that I don't have an accessory that shorts out and then ends up frying a decoder or something like that. 'Cause
Well-
that would be a
Well, before
situation.
DCCEX, I can tell you that I fried about 5 Arduinos and about 10 motor drives,
Yep. Yeah.
just trying to get them to work. So, but I do have protection in them, but it's just one of those things.
What would you say the biggest mistake was that you made with those?
The biggest mistake I made was using DCC++. DCCEX is just so much easier.
But EX wasn't around when you were doing that, was it?
It was just coming in. They were in the first stages of build, so it was 1.1, and I started to move across to that. But look, I kept blowing them up, and what happened? What I found was, even though I had some protection in there, it kept blowing up because if the train shorted out, the whole thing just went up. And this was on my mate's HO scale. It was just one. I kept blowing them up. Or the other problem I had with DCC++ was that the timeout. There was a huge timeout using a Raspberry Pi 3B, and what was happening was it would work for about 5 minutes, and then start timing out, and then that was it. It would stop.
Will you explain for people who may not know what is DCC++ EX?
Yes, DCC++ EX. Big words there.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
It's basically using an Arduino and a motor shield. So instead of buying something like an NCE or a Digitrax or that sort of controller, you which is a few $100s, we're talking about an Arduino, which, well, in your country it's about $10-15. Here it's about 50. And a motor shield, which is about $10-15 on top, and you join the two together. I could get one out and show you. And you use either JMRI to control it, or you can use your mobile phone. And we use a combination of both of them. And it means you've got full DCC++ EX with. It's much more powerful than using some of the other ones.
Oh,
And then what do you use for your throttles?
Well, we use either the JMRI or the
did
mobile
get me-
phone at the moment. I'm also looking at building a portable wireless one as well, because what we do is we wirelessly transmit the DCC EX, because you
This
can
is
put a
the only thing
transmitter on it.
I
if
worry
you
about.
use a
That's gone from
the bigger one. I've got a mental block now. Not the other one. And you can transmit wirelessly around, so you can use either. Mainly, we use our phones.
Yeah.
And we use Driver Plus, Engine Driver.
Engine Driver.
Engine Driver on. And on Apple, it's Wi-Fi driver, I think.
We
throttle. We throttle.
Ah,
yeah.
there you go, Wi-Throttle. Yeah, we both of us, my mate and myself, we've got the Android, so we use Engine Driver.
So speaking about DCC++ EX, at 8 o'clock in 24 minutes from now, Tom's Trains and Things
Yes.
going to be on, and he is a big proponent of DCC++ EX
Yes, he is.
as well. So, and he loves talking about it. So, people have
Yep.
specific questions. He is a good resource for that.
He's a guru. Or the other one is now I've got a mental block. DYI Digital and
Jimmy at DIY.
Jimmy,
Needle.
thank you. Yeah, Jimmy. Jimmy's really good too. I've used Jimmy's. I'm not a programmer. I'm one of those IT guys who can't program, but I can read it and modify it. So
Yep.
I actually have a video that I'm working on at the moment where Jimmy did a train stop, and I'm actually duplicating that onto the other track. So on my two tracks. So I've got one where the train rocks up, stops at the station because there's no power. It then detects it from 2 IRs, and after a preset time, it starts up again because the relay clicks in and you get power. Love that sort of stuff.
I was just cleaning my brush a little bit, but yeah. So I have let me see where I can never figure out where I am, but this this little it's basically my trolley track, but right now I'm running a bigger train on it. I'm using the Iowa Scale Engineering, the Motorman. It's a $99 box that you get from them. You plug it in, DCC output to the track. I know some people do this kind of thing with Arduino. And yeah, okay, like for, let's say in the US for $40 or whatever, I could get the Arduino and the motor shield and all that kind of stuff, but then I have to sit there and program it. And for me,
No, you
I
don't
just
have
wanted
to
it to work.
You don't have to program it, Heath. What you do if you're like me that I can't program, I look at somebody else's and modify it. So if you can see in my camera there, that's a Uno with a motor drive, a Deke robot, or it has to be a genuine one. We can only get Dekes here at a reasonable price. That is already pre-programmed for DCC++.
Yep.
And then the other one is the Mega. Sorry, my chronic fatigue sometimes is really bad. I have the Mega, and the Mega's got the motor shield on, and as you can see, it's ready to go. That's also programmed with DCC EX. Both of them have EX on them. Brilliant. Love it. And it's so much cheaper, and it does everything that the big boys do.
Hey, Paducah in Louisville. Human, you're in your apartment someplace in New York City area in New York. I don't know what he's answering. Oh, is he saying when I had to go wash my brush?
You said you didn't know where you were at.
Oh. I don't know where I'm at half the time.
Ooh.
See, I just muted you while you were sanding. You were over there killing us.
I remember years ago, a friend of mine said there were three dangerous things for a computer. One is a software engineer with a screwdriver, a hardware engineer.
That's dangerous.
A hardware engineer with a software patch, and a user with admin access.
Oh, definitely a user with admin access.
Yeah.
That's the worst one.
I think that last one is the worst one.
Most of my jobs, they'd try and lock down your computer. The problem was I'd have to go to job sites and be able to change my IP address. And most of the times when they lock down your computer, they lock down the ability for you to do that. So that always kind of became an issue for me. I would usually end up with admin access, which then usually caused other trouble.
Well, see, I'm always used to admin access. So, being a systems administrator in charge of big networks, that was my job. I used to have something like 40 servers and 1,000 users, 1,000 PCs, all by myself, running it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And 26 sites.
Jason's also does system admin stuff, right?
Yep.
Is he? Cool.
I am. Well, more, I don't know if you would say system admin. I'm more kind of a miniature jack of all trades, per se.
Well, so am I.
Well, isn't that the definition of an admin?
more or less.
But you got so many different types out there, though. Network admin, system admin, security admin, DBA admin, or DBA, which is a database admin.
Yep.
I'm more on the network side than systems.
Gotcha.
But
Well, see, yep.
GPO is my best friend.
Well, see, here in Australia, if you're a systems admin, you're normally running the whole network. So, in a lot of places, even the big places, we do things from changing network cables right through to firewalls, websites, all that sort of stuff. You have to be a jack of all trades here.
Yeah.
Roy Eltham,
I'm often
with an L in his name, says he's often the bane of IT guys where he works.
Yeah. Well, IT guys are the most hated people in a workplace.
That is, and underappreciated.
Yeah, definitely. Because every user thinks that they're the only user on the network.
Yep.
And especially if you're the...
And they think that you don't do anything all day long but sit in your office and twiddle your thumbs, and that you can stop whatever you're doing to go take care of their needs.
Correct.
Well, that is all you're doing.
Yeah, right.
No?
Nah.
That's not even that.
What's your point, Jason?
Hey, the hours were pretty crap too.
So Pete's asking how you're getting along with your project, Steve.
Doing good. I got the siding up there wired in. I can't do much. I've put in the wiring blocks for the different sidings. Out of switches. They got more due in tomorrow. So, and I've got to go get some code 83 rail tomorrow, because the bridge is code 83 and I use code 100, and I've modified the lead-in section by filing down the underside to get it to line up right. And but I'm not going to do that for 14 more sidings. So.
Well, Steve, your wife is always welcome back on Modeling Monday. You, on the other hand, we're gonna hold the vote later, and we'll see how it goes.
I'm good tonight. I've kept myself muted.
You kept most of us amused too.
Not amused.
He
Muted.
said muted. I was the one who was causing trouble tonight. I thought I had it muted. I was being like Steve.
Yeah, it's all good. All good.
Don't be like
that's what I'm here for. Here to keep everyone honest. So it's about 15 minutes until Tom starts, so I just want to check in with everybody, see anyone else got any progress updates for us that we haven't checked in with lately. I feel like we've checked in with most people in the last couple minutes.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
kind of excited about the sanding because I didn't know this would work so good, and I needed round columns. So this is pretty cool.
Hold on, let me make you bigger so people can see the columns.
I might have a tabletop.
So is that just white foam you're using for that? You're
Yeah.
not using the extruded foam, extruded polystyrene.
No, this is I don't know. This is the stuff you get in your Amazon box.
Oh.
I know. I loved all the comments about the other kind, but Amazon doesn't give me that, so I don't use it. I only use what I mean. Yeah. If I'm going to buy some, I'm buy a train, not supplies. I'm too much of a scrapper.
I just can't stand all that white, the way the white foam kind of flakes and falls apart.
I don't either, but it's kind of manageable. I mean, yeah, this gets everywhere, but I have a vacuum specifically for it. But this is going to be cool because this is going under my cavern. So then that train thing, you
Yep.
see it in the back under the mountain, then the columns are going to be in front right here. So you can
Ah,
see into
okay.
the cavern. So
So
I
what
wasn't
did you
quite sure
think
how
about
to do that.
what did you think about what Ian was talking about just painting them instead of plastering? Do you think you'll try that, or because
Well, I
it's the
kind of
white
like how
foam, I'm
I
guessing?
like how the spackle looks on
Yeah.
the outside, but now that because it's kind of fluffy. I mean, yeah, I've just painted them. I like the way it seals it. I mean, yeah, these probably won't get spackled because they're going to be nice and smooth. So, but I used some spray on them before. Um, what was I doing on that? I got the wall that I did last night, and the spray that I got was a matte spray, but it just ate into them, just like
Ooh.
wormhole.
Yeah, right, because the spray, the chemicals in the spray.
Yeah, so you have to seal them with something. So that was kind of interesting because I like pulled it out and I'm like, why is there so much white in there? I know I painted better than that. So, but these are going to be perfect. So I'll just paint.
I think Pete wants me to start a Teespring store so I can have shirts. Don't be like Steve.
Yeah, I never know what you can use. I use everything. Yeah.
Steve, with all your tips of the day, you should probably get
Don't
working
be
on
like
that.
me.
Yeah.
Don't be like Steve.
Well, Z, we'll definitely have to see what you're working on next week. See how far you've gotten. Let's see. We checked in with Steam. Jason, do you got anything new going on, or are you kind of?
No, the only thing that I know that is coming up for me is on the 27th, providing no more winter weather. There is a live or a train show that's going to be on the 27th, and I plan on attending live and doing a live stream. And I think Claude Christ, Cowboy and Timberline, is going to meet me there.
Oh, I saw you mention that. Yeah, that's really awesome. That's really cool.
Well, so lucky.
That sounds fun.
So I think that'd be pretty cool.
Train shows are cancelled still.
I'm still planning that meetup at Northlands on March 13th. They're a big enough place, and we're probably not going to get more than 10 people. It sounds like not really sure who else coming, but I know Dakman Productions is coming. I think Lehigh River Subdivision is considering it if he can make the trip as well, and so we'll have some people there. And it's 52,000 square feet, so we should be able to keep 6 feet away in 52,000 square foot space. But
yeah, you could turn around. You could actually turn around, bring a whole busload of people, and actually not only can you stay away the 6 feet apart and all that, but you could actually be far enough away that no one can actually see each other.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're planning. A meetup where we don't actually see each other.
That's the best kind if you go with Heath, right?
Absolutely. Oh no, Ian can't make it. He's got a 50th surprise birthday party for a family member. He just found out today.
Dang.
Well, there you go. DB Tech, I bust up cinder blocks for gravel, get my own dirt from the yard, make grass from sawdust and paint, and I went to the creek a couple weeks ago to pick some rocks. There you go.
We get landscapers that throw little bags of rocks with their information on it into our driveways. And I always grumble because it's just pollution. But then last time I went out and I picked up mine and all the neighbors. And I'm going to use it.
I remember you talking about that. I thought that was very funny.
I was stealthing.
I am actually trying to look.
Yeah, I know. For myself, right now, for myself, with the sort of being the host for New Tracks, that's why I got the green screen up and all that. But unfortunately, it also turned around and also the green screen is across my workbench. But I have been putting together This is a Conowingo Models 25 foot boxcar, which not quite done yet, but it's one of the things of my layout. I actually have designed for the Mantua 30 foot boxcars, and trying to find something else that's shorter than 30 foot. It's a little bit of a challenge, especially for something in the 1800s.
Yeah, in the 1800s, you're probably scratch building everything at that point.
Close to it. Either that or heavily modifying older style locomotives and all that. Like I got 3 Mantua Generals. I got a couple of IHC American type locomotives. I got about 4 Bachler 240s. That it's basically I'm not using them all. It's basically for parts because they don't make them anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just posted Tom's Trains and Things link. He is going live in 7 minutes, it looks like, at this point. I did just see he is in the chat saying hello to people. So
Hey, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
no,
Hello,
not in
Tom.
our chat. Not in our chat.
Oh.
His chat.
Boy, what a rough crowd. So if people, I'm gonna just sort of start wrapping up here. I'm gonna roll my little outro in a second. But if people want to head over there, I'll
Thanks, Heath. It was great.
join you
Time.
a little bit later.
Cheers.
Thanks, Dave.
Good times.
Bye.
See you, everyone.
Nice
Take care,
meeting you,
everyone.
Heath.
Thanks everyone for coming.
Stay
Really
safe.
appreciate it.